Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to today's video. Today is my January TBR for 2025, first TBR of 2025. Very excited to pick out some books to read. I don't just do physical books, I do non-physical books as well, so on Kindle Unlimited and also like audiobooks that I own, that kind of thing. So we're going to be switching it up a bit this year, and I'm going to explain what's going on. We're going to be doing it a little differently. Sometimes I just pick in previous TBRs, I've picked just from a jar of, some of them are prompts, some of them were like books. Okay, you're going to read that book. But this year, a lot of times last year, I ended up with too many books on my TBR that, like too many books each month because they were like required reading. So I'm going to try to make it just a little bit easier for myself this time. And sorry, I'm trying to refold this because I did try to film this video and it stopped filming and didn't record any of it. So yay! But, so I'm not going to be doing it like that this year. I'm going to be doing it a little bit differently. I've got a cup here. In this cup is 1 through 6 little pieces of paper that say 1 through 6 on them. And I'll be picking that. And then according to whatever I get there, I'll be picking from the rest of these cups here. So that you can't see. I don't know why I'm pointing like you can see them. First one, physical books. Every physical book that I own is in here. Second cup and number 2 is going to be non-physical books. So digital books that I own or on Kindle Unlimited, including audio. 3 is going to be prompt. So this is my normal little prompt jar that I made, but my boyfriend very kindly made me a prompt jar to use instead. And so we're going to use that. He got me this little like vase that, you know, it's called The Art of Flowers. It's like a little book that he thought, oh, I can put this right on the shelf once there aren't so many on here, which I will definitely do. But he also made prompts to go along with our relationship, which I think is just so adorable. And in the previous one, we did pick one out, but it was, I'm from Maine. He's from Connecticut. We live in Connecticut right now. And he picked, his prompt was, pick a book that's based that's set in Connecticut or Maine. Well, I didn't have any. And so I was going to have to buy a new book, which is the opposite of what we should be doing right now. So I'm not going to put that one back in because we just can't do it right now. But I will put that book, and I'll keep my eyes open for you know, Kindle Unlimited books set in that Maine or Connecticut that I can download and use for that prompt later. So I'm not going to use that one. But that's number 3. If we roll a 4, or if we pick out a 4, it's going to be reading one of the top 25 books that I read in 2020, or that I want to read in 2025. The names of all of those are in this cup. Number 5 is continue a series. And number 6 is free pick. We're going to do a free pick because there are 3 books on my shelf right now that I need to read in the month of January, and I'd like to get them on my TBR somehow. And if I get free pick, that's what we're doing. So I could end up with anywhere between 6 and 9 books on my TBR. Hopefully it is 6. My goal for 2025 is to read 72 books. And to do that, I need to read 6 a month. So I believe it did the maths correct. But to talk quickly about last month, there was like 9 on my TBR because some of them I didn't even talk about because I forgot. But the first one that I didn't get to, unfortunately, was Tale of the Heart Queen. This is the last book in the Trial of the Sun Queen series. I don't remember what that's called. It's called like Artifacts of Oranos, I believe. So that I didn't get to. I didn't get to Babel, and I didn't get to The Poppy War. I put those back on the shelf and back into the cups. I did read Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I absolutely loved it. I did not finish this, but I started Christmas Eve Love Story by Jenny Beard, or Bard. I don't know how to say her name. I didn't like this. If you did, like, that's great. I didn't like it. I read up to page 60. The internal monologue felt more like a middle schooler than it did like a 24-year-old woman, which I don't want to read a book like that. I wasn't in it. I didn't like the inner monologue of the character. Had a lot of exclamation points instead of like actual thinking. It was like, oh wow, oh my, like all. And I just couldn't. I didn't like it. So we didn't read that. I mean, I started it, but I didn't finish it. Circe was my book club book, which I did read, and I I liked it. I liked it less than I thought I would, to be honest, but I'll do a review coming up with my thoughts on everything that I read in November and December. It's not a lot of books. And then what else did I read the first book in the Mind F series, and that one I liked quite a lot. It wasn't as spicy as I thought it would be, just basing off the cover. And then what else? What else did I read? That might be it. Oh, I'm reading currently Daughter of No Worlds. That is a fantasy with romance, I believe, but it's an epic fantasy trilogy type thing, and so I started that series that is currently going. It's only the 29th, and I have 2 more days, or the 30th and the 31st to finish it, and I think I will. I'm on to like chapter 20 of like 60 or something. I think I'm like a third way through the book, so I should finish it. I'm currently reading it on my iPad, on my Kindle, and it's free on audio, so when I'm like cleaning and stuff, I've been listening to that too, but I will finish that. So we did okay last month, not the best. I didn't read any of the super long books, but December's a tough month. I traveled for about a week and a half, and there wasn't a lot of reading being done then. So let's go ahead and get started and pick out my TBR for January. I'm so excited to do this a new way and hopefully get a more manageable list in the future, something that works better for me but is still surprising and fun. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I really want to get one that is a 3 so I can pick from here. But if I don't get a 3 by the end, I'll use the last one as a pick from here. But let's go ahead and get started. Hopefully I get 3s and 6s is kind of what I would like. I mean, I would love a 6 to start so I can at least get my TBR down to 8 and not 9. So let's see. We'll go with this one. This is a 5. So a 5 is continuous series. So we have, this is Gold Digger Live Fit Fuel. That is a brand that a friend of mine started. It's for weight loss. And I did it once and she gave me a cup, which was very nice. And it was effective. So Google that. But the book that we got for continuous series is Trial of the Sun Queen. Okay, that's good because I definitely want to read this. So the last book in that series is out now. It came out last month. This is Tale of the Heart Queen. I believe it came out at the end of November and I hadn't read it. So I pre-ordered it, of course, didn't read it, but it's a thick boy. It's 655 pages. So that's a long one. But I am excited to read this. It's definitely one that I would love to finish, and it finishes a series for me. So that is a really good start. Happy with that. I had meant to read that last month, clearly did not. So next we're going to pick out from here. And what do we have? It is a 3 or 6, 3 or 6, 3 or 6. It's a 2. So that's going to be from that's a non-physical book. So a digital book really. And let's see what we've got. I'm going to pick this one here. It's a little small. I don't know what it's going to be. Eye of the World. Okay, so this is an epic fantasy series. I do own the first book on my iPad, and so I'm definitely going to go ahead and read that book. It's been on a TBR before, and I haven't read it, so great. There is a series based on it on Amazon, I think. I watched the first season, I liked it, and thought, oh, this is a book, I need to read it, of course. So I purchased it, never read it. That's kind of what I do. So next we have got to pick out another number. I would love a 6. I would love a 6. 6, 6, 6. 6, thank God. Okay, TBR will now be 8 or less. Fantastic. So the first one of the ones that I'm going to be picking is this, The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. This is a story of, I don't remember, but this is my book club book. Early morning, August 1975, a camp counselor discovers an empty bunk. Its occupant, Barbara Van Laar, has gone missing. Barbara isn't any 13-year-old. She's the daughter of the family that owns a summer camp and employs most of the region's residents. And it's not the first time that a Van Laar child has disappeared. Her older brother similarly vanished 14 years ago, never to be found. So it's like the story of like what happened, where did she go, that kind of thing. And I was kind of flipping through this. The chapters look super short. Like, this is a very thick book, but one, it's a hardcover. It's 490 pages or 470 pages, I think, but like, if you kind of look, like, the chapters are really short, and I'm just making myself less intimidated by telling you all of that. So that's what we're going to go with. That is the third book. Great. TBR will now be 8 or less. Would love it to be 6 or less. Or 6. 3. Okay, we got a prompt. This is exciting. So the fourth book, we're going to pick from this. He made them blue to be like water for a vase. And then he also did, made origami to make them like look like my favorite flower, which is a tulip. So adorable. So this one I don't think I've read. I have now read a couple because I read one and, like when he first gave it to me, I was like, well, I want to see like what kind of thing you did. And then I just read one in the previous video that I tried to film and it didn't work out. And I'm hoping these are not that hard. That one was very difficult that I read. It was pick a book based in Maine or Connecticut. I don't have one of those and I didn't have any on my Kindle. So I was like going to have to buy a new book, which is not the point of this. Although he's like, do you need that? It's okay if you want it, kind of thing. He's very supportive of my book buying habit. Anyway, so it is read a book that's set in a city like New Haven where we met. I love you. I love you too. That's so cute. Okay, so I think that the one I'm going to go with is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. It's based in Boston. I believe. So in December of his junior year at Harvard, Sam Mercier exits a subway car and sees amid the hordes of people waiting on the platform Sadie Green. He calls her name. For a moment, she pretends she doesn't hear him. Basically, this is about spending 30 years from Cambridge to Venice Beach. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow is a dazzling novel that examines the multifactorious nature of identity, disability, failure, and the redemptive possibilities in play, and above all, our need to connect, to be loved, and to love. Yes, it's a love story, but it's not the one you have read before. So I've definitely wanted to read this for a while. This is on my 25 and 25 list, and I'm buddy reading it with my one of my cousin's wives. We did a book swap, and then we decided to buddy read this one together because we both owned it. So I'm excited to read this. Definitely one that's been on my list for a while. We've got a good mix, kind of. We've got like a thrillery mystery, a contemporary fiction, or a literary fiction, I'm not sure, and a couple of fantasy books. So starting a new series and ending a new series. And that was one of the 3 that I needed to read this month. So our TBR will be 7 or less. That is fantastic. Thank you, babe, for that prompt. Very good. Okay. Number 2, this is a Kindle Unlimited or audio or another book that I own. I hope it's a Kindle Unlimited so I can use that subscription this month because obviously we want to do that. It is Cultish. Okay, this is a Kindle Unlimited book. So this is a book about cults. It's a nonfiction book, and one of the book that I'm working on currently is has a cult element to it. So I am reading that for research. It's on my Kindle Unlimited. I haven't read it yet. I need to. Excited to read that. And when it's on Kindle Unlimited, I feel like it's easier to read a nonfiction book because I'm just like swiping and I can just have it with me anywhere. And I don't know. I'm excited to read that. I don't know if I'm excited to read it, but it is one that I like need to read. So that is on there. And then final one, I'm hoping it's a 6. It would be really lovely if it was a 6 and I could pick the last book in here that I want to read. It is gonna be a 3. So we're doing another prompt. Hopefully this prompt will actually work for something. I'm gonna pick one like down at the bottom just to make sure I haven't read it before. And yeah, the tape looks like it hasn't been undone in the back. So that's exciting. I'm gonna have to buy a book for Connecticut. I know which one I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do The Frozen River by, I think it's Ariel Lawton, but I'm not supposed to be buying any more books right now until these don't, like, until everything fits like correctly on a shelf, you know? And there's another one down here. So just 3 complete shelves, which means I need to read quite a few books on here, but that's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay, so the prompt is read a book with a cover that's our favorite color, green. And then it says, I love you at the end. This is so sweet. I think he meant the I love yous to be like saying it for the first time, but then we said it before that. So anyway. Okay, so a book with a cover that is our favorite color. So mostly green. Okay, so we have What the River Knows. That one is definitely green. I love this cover too. I think it's really, really beautiful. That's green. What are my other choices here? None of these are green, I don't think. No. Dragonflight. This is a fantasy book this is written in like the 60s, I think, or the 70s. My dad recommended it, so I decided to grab it and read it. Wow, she has written a lot of books. Wow, this is a long series, but I'm not mad about that because it's not like super long either. It's a smaller book. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry, What the River Knows. We could do Collide, which is an ice hockey romance, which would be great to read in January. We could do The Inheritance Games. We could do... Okay, so this is the other book that I need to read because this is the #1 book from January of 2024. And while it's not all green, it is green. We will put that as an option. Oh, we could have also done God of the Woods. That's really green, but that's okay. Normal People is green, but it also is blue, so I'm going to skip that one for now. We have Britt Marie Was Here, and this is a Frederick Bachman novel. I have a lot of green books. I didn't think I would have that many, but I do. None of these are green. Ooh, this is an interesting one that I could do. This is Celtic Empire by Clive Cussler. I believe this is also a first book in a series, I think anyway. I got it in a book subscription, which was not very good, but it was like the only book I was actually pretty excited about. And I think that might be it. The Nightingale, no, that's blue. Okay, so I could take the easy way here and do First Lie Wins. Oh, Shatter Me, is that green or is that more blue? That's definitely more blue. Okay, everything is now destroyed. Okay, so the easy way would be to pick First Lie Wins. However, I wouldn't consider this to be a green cover. I would consider it to be blue. It's blue and green. It's not as green. And these ones are like way more green. Am I making this harder for myself? Of course I am. Okay. We have a romance. We have a historical war novel, I feel like. It's like, look at the cover. I think it's a fantasy. I'm not sure. This is literary fiction by Frederick Bachman. The Inheritance Games is a romance as well. Dragonflight, which is a dragon fantasy. And What the River Knows, which is also historical fantasy. I think that I would like to do Collide. This isn't my favorite color green, and I don't think it's his favorite color green. If I was going to go with my favorite color green, it would be in the Inheritance Games, because I love this like emerald green. But I feel like this month I am more in the mood, and it seems appropriate to read Collide. Or I could just go with First Lie Wins. I'm just going to pick them both, because I have to read First Lie Wins anyway. And Collide is one that I've had on my shelf for a while and saved for the winter, obviously, because it's an ice hockey romance, and I haven't read a sports romance before, so we're gonna go with that. And I think I've got all of the books. So let's go over. The TBR is 7, which is way better than 9. Very happy about that. So we're gonna be reading Eye of the World and Cultish. Those are both on audio. Let me just make sure that I did that correctly. Yes. And then I'm also going to be reading First Lie Wins, which was series running low. So, oops. I'm also going to be reading First Lie Wins, which was the #1 book from 2024 January. And I'm trying to read the first book or the best book from last year to like kind of broaden my scope of reading. I'm going to be reading Collide by Balcabra. This is by Ashley Elson, by the way. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, which is my buddy read, and the prompt for this was one for my boyfriend. Oh, Set in a City, like where we met, which Boston, I lived there, so that kind of counts. We didn't meet there, but hey, we've been. The God of the Woods, this was my free pick. This is my book club book, and then Tale of the Heart Queen for continuing a series. So we'll see how we do. I'm very excited. I think I'll definitely get to those 3 that I really wanted to read, and we'll see where I go from there. I'm definitely I don't need to read 6 books, but that's kind of the goal, is to always read 6 books per month. Hopefully I can get more, who knows? But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe. Tell me, what are you reading this month? What are you reading this year? Tell me, are you jealous that my boyfriend made this thing for me? Because you should be. It's so sweet. And tell your boyfriends and tell your husbands to do something like that for you, because just show them this video. That's okay. Just show them this video. That is it. I will see you guys in my next one. Love you guys. Bye.